Welcome to the channel of PACIFIC414. Show us this loyalty. Throw yourself onto the subscribe button and submit yourself to the live streams, gaming streams, and so much more. Pathetic earthlings, I command you. Welcome to the channel of PACIFIC414. Show us this loyalty. Throw yourself onto the subscribe button and submit yourself to the live streams, gaming streams, and so much more. Pathetic earthlings, I command you.
Warning: due to adult language and humor, the following content may not be suitable for any viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. The views and opinions expressed during the following live stream or video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome one and all to PACIFIC414 Pop Talk, the Sunday edition, along with co-host Cash Money 007. I am your host, Mike, and this afternoon, or this morning, or in the evening, depending on where you are, I have several articles that we are going to discuss. Now, whether we get to all of the articles, that's another thing, but there are two main articles I do want to discuss in today's show. One of the topics that I want to discuss in today's show is, of course, Seth Rogan's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turles Mutant Mayhem. And there's another article I do want to start off with that I saw just moments before going live here. Cash has already seen the article, but it's from the New York Post via Fox News about basically, and it's an opinion piece from a writer from MSNBC talking about Top Gun Maverick. So we are going to start off with that, but the other articles that we are going to talk about besides Mutant Mayhem, I have an article from Bounding in the Comics saying James Gunn defends the race swapping of High Evolutionary and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 by accusing fan of having racist presumptions. We are also going to take a look at the weekend box office when that is officially updated for this weekend. I have an article from Bounding in the Comics that also mentions how Dark Horse Comics is going to reprint Hellsing Magna in paperback with more accurate translations. And the other two articles I have, whether we get to them or not, that's another thing, is a former producer suing Lucasfilm for breach of contract. And also Disney CEO Bob Iger admitting that theme park pricing is too expensive. Hey, Bob, no shit. So let's go ahead and, get started with this article. But as I'm getting started with this article, Cash, how you doing, brother? And one second. Cash says he'll be right back, so I will ask him once he comes back. But I'm going to put this article into the chat, and we, of course, are going to talk about this article. But Cash, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing better. Still recovering, but I'm doing better. One day my voice will actually sound like my voice again. I don't know when, but sometime.
I don't know when, I don't know where, but someday my voice will be back.
It will.
So I just saw this article this morning on the New York Post, and I got a few things to say about it. I know you have a few things to say about it, Cash. But this article from the New York Post says Top Gun Maverick is insidious for portraying virtue of U.S. military MSNBC editor. And this article that was posted on the New York Post is by Gabriel Hayes, Fox News. And it says MSNBC opinion editor Zishan Alim recently condemned Top Gun Maverick as the most insidious movie at the Oscars because it shows the U.S. military as a beacon of virtue. Alim trashed the Best Picture nominee in a Saturday morning column for painting America's military in a positive light, lamenting that the literal propaganda, as he described it, is poised to become canonized as a highly decorated film. Obviously, from the start of this article, and they're just relaying what this MSNBC employee wrote. Obviously, this guy didn't grow up in the States in the 1980s. I mean, if you want to talk about patriotic movies, the 1980s were your decade. And the article continues to say the Academy Awards are on Sunday. The action flick, which almost single-handedly recharged the dwindling film industry after the stagnation caused by COVID-19 lockdowns, has been nominated for 6 Oscars, including Best Picture. Alim revealed he was not as pleased with the film as millions of other American moviegoers, though he admitted it was a breath of fresh air to see dazzling live-action aerial combat scenes involving real actors trained to withstand G-forces by real pilots and mostly real planes. The columnist slammed it for being as insidious as it is entertaining. Article continues by saying he declared it is insidious because of its overt pride for the American military. Again, this guy didn't grow up in the 80s here in the States, obviously. And saying it also beckons for a return to accepting the American war machine as a beacon of virtue and excitement. Alim added, it's a poisonous kind of nostalgia, one that smuggles love of endless war into a celebration of live action. The columnist reduced the film about patriotism and family and U.S. resilience against unimaginably tough odds to sterile propaganda, pointing to the U.S. Defense Department's contributions to the film. Well, anytime actual U.S. military equipment is used in an American film, they're going to consult with the Defense Department. Okay, what can this plane do? What can it not do? They're even going to look at the script and say, no, the plane's not capable of doing that, or the ship's not capable of doing that, the helicopter's not capable of doing that. He explained, in exchange for access to military aircraft, the producers of the movie agreed to allow the Defense Department to include its own key talking points in the script. Well, if those key talking points are there to help make the movie more authentic as to what the F-18 can actually do, as opposed to what the script might have said it could do, then all for the better. Perhaps equally important, the script had to be written in a manner that flatters the military in order to secure the buy-in of the Pentagon. Okay, once again, any film, and I'm talking any film that is working in cooperation with the Defense Department, has to have the script beat the approval of the Pentagon in order for actual taxpayer paid machinery to be used. As such, Aleem said the collaboration and jingoism is evident throughout the script. Oh god, yeah.
The script offend it upset me and made me mad.
Pretty much. Elsewhere in his column, he expressed hope that the film tanks the Oscars, adding, "It's possible to make thrilling action without brazenly priming the public for warfare." Oh, yeah. What was the first Top Gun movie about? Having patriotism.
Yes.
Guess what? Guess what? The area that both these movies were filmed is a very patriotic area. Why? Because of the military presence in both the Navy and the Marines. Yeah. Aleem then pointed to the top secret aircraft featured at the outset of the film during the test flight, claiming this scene is proof Maverick is also operating on the behalf of more nefarious forces. Oh, good. It's Maverick. He's got an ego. If you knew that about the character, you wouldn't be writing crap like this.
This is not the first time, unfortunately, this movie has been attacked. So.
I know. I just saw it this morning, and I got a few things to say. I'm gonna say it. He says, "All we know is that the jet looks sleek and powerful, yet there is a strange desperation to risk life and limb for it, as if a weapons program is a soldier that's never meant to be left behind. A Maverick embodies the American bipartisan spirit of forever increasing the American colossal defense budget." Again, the character of Maverick knew that an admiral was coming, and he wanted to make the test flight so the program would continue. This movie has a little bit of reality, but a lot of Hollywood fantasy in it. It's an action film. Jeez, man. Aleem called it a striking choice that betrays the bellicose worldview. It revives the neoconservative conception of preventive warfare, the idea of using force to eliminate threats to American power before they can emerge. He returned to a general critique of the film, saying war is portrayed purely as a source of glory and camaraderie for Maverick and his colleagues, who are all attractive people and manage to pull off their daring mission with 0 casualties. Their training involves speed, sport, and glamour. Again, it's a freaking movie. If you want realism, sign up. Sign up for any of the branches of the military to get your realism. It's a movie. Jesus.
Yay!
He added, much of the movie has the feel of a racing sports movie, gamifying the use of lethal technology, geopolitical intervention as a contest of precise one-upmanship. And the comments, some of the comments are saying, my question to him is having pride in your country such a bad thing? No, it's not. What were the 80s about? Especially the 80s movies like the original Top Gun, about having pride in your country, pride in the military, pride in the men and women who risk their lives each and every day in each of the branches of the armed forces.
Yep.
And it's, you know, it's aggravating because you have this guy who obviously has no love for the U.S. military, obviously has no love for the country. Well, guess what, pal? A lot of people had love for this movie. It gave them the escapism they needed. It gave them that uplifting moment they needed to go see a movie that gave them excitement like movies are supposed to do.
And once again, of course, this guy works for the network.
MSNBC.
I don't want to get into it. You know what? Fuck it. I'm going to do it. You know what? MSNBC once again just proves that they're a clown show, just like PBS with that whole fucking article about D&D. Yes. Yeah, I care about the money, DJ Ronnie. Yes, right. No, I'm glad Top Gun Maverick made a lot of money. But there is also nothing wrong with a movie that has a strong patriotic message. Oh, I know. Oh, it's horrible. Nothing wrong with that at all. At all. But yes, this is from MSLSD PCBBD, whatever. It's just more fluff, and they wonder why a lot of, unfortunately, media aren't taken seriously. Well, look at this article. It's a perfect example. Now, some people may agree with it, unfortunately, but I don't think the majority of people will.
And I know the recruiting numbers are low. It's not like it's something I haven't paid attention to, but I wonder why the recruiting numbers are low. It's because you got people like this guy saying how bad the U.S. military is. Well, guess what? If there wasn't the U.S. military, or, you know, insert any country's military, there wouldn't be that country or this country in existence.
Yes, and we could get on where the military has gone recently, but we won't.
We're not going to go there.
Yeah, exactly. All I can say is that organizations where we are strong and need to defend our country should never be a clown show. And unfortunately, some of the military has turned into that. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah. And why am I so adamant about talking about this article? Because guess what? I've had members of my own family who have served in the military, and I have many friends that have served in the military.
Yep. Yeah, I have some friends who served in the military too.
I wish I could have served, but guess what? The moment the Marine recruiter called my house and I told him I had cerebral palsy, click.
Yeah. It's bullshit. But I you know, it's annoying.
I still remember that after I graduated high school.
It's like you guys still can't find some kind of position for me, even working and like doing a desk job or something.
Yeah.
You don't have to be in the firing area. You can.
I don't have to be in the field, but
that's right.
You know, even if it was a desk job, still being able to serve my country like other members of my family.
Yep.
And I do want to say hello to everybody. says, old man here says this should be a great show. Yeah, it is going to be. I'm going to make sure of it. And Jet Spark says the enemy in both Top Guns was made internationally vague, although in the original Top Gun, you knew that the enemy was the Russians. You knew it.
That's right. Yes, you're right.
They may not have said it, but you knew the enemy was the Russians.
Only sometimes, man. Only sometimes.
Hello, DJ Ronnie G. See if anyone else has popped in the chat. No, they haven't. And in case anyone's wondering where Baron's at, I haven't heard from him. So
me either.
You know, he might be busy. And Baron, if you're busy and things will come up, I'm praying, brother.
Yep. Yeah, I know, man. Yep. What's the ways of Eve? Yep. Right, exactly. It's unfortunately that's the kind of clown show that's going on in the military. People talking about like I'm not going to get all into. I want to, but
I appreciate it. I would too, but YouTube being YouTube, I'd like to keep my channel.
I mean, I love pissing off YouTube. It's not hard, but it's no.
Yeah, and I have put the invite link out there. I ask that everybody respects everybody's opinion, whether you're on the panel, whether you're in the chat. And if you need to promote something, wait until I call upon you to promote your items. But yeah, what other thoughts you have on this article as I look at some of these comments here?
I'm sure they all agree with us. It's just nonsense again. It's like the T&D garbage with PBS. It's the garbage about the whole thing about Amy. Like you just go down the list of this stuff. It's poorly written, and it's passive aggressive to an extent. It always has to be. The people who are writing these articles, they always want to like. It seems like they talk down to the audience or their readers, and they don't care. And some of their readers may agree with them, but no, it's silly. It's just silly. There's nothing wrong with the message. There's nothing wrong in that respect with Top Gun. I just that man is ridiculous. Aleem, right? Aleem, yeah. He's ridiculous.
Yeah, and by looking at the comments, a lot of people are like, you know what, dude? Shut up.
It's stupid. And it might be just there for clickbait. It might just to trigger people. It whatever. Could be. Then if you criticize the article, he'll start in with his politics, I'm sure. And how, I'm getting attacked. It's not fair.
Well, of course you're getting attacked, dude, because you're attacking the U.S. military. You're attacking a film that everybody loved because of how good it was. It didn't matter that it portrayed the U.S. military in a good light. It could have been any military that it portrayed in a good light and still been a good movie.
This is an American film. The first one was an American film. This is an American film. So,
and please welcome to the panel at this time, Old Man. How are you doing, Old Man?
Hello.
Doing good.
Or
hello.
Actually, it's not morning for you anymore, I guess.
It's still morning somewhere.
There I am.
So, man, what are your thoughts on this article?
Oh, I will do my best to keep a civil tongue in my mouth.
Okay.
One, obviously, this guy has no concept at all of what it's like to be an American or what we stand for.
Right.
Two, if you look at his name, it's obvious he's from the Middle East.
Yes, I think he probably is. I can't say for sure, but I can look it up later.
And as such, I would be guessing, I'm guessing, that he might be Muslim. Which, as a natural,
not that should have anything to do with it, because we are a country that's a melting pot.
Well, what I'm referring to here is that being as he is a Muslim from the Middle East, he might have, shall we say, negative, and I mean very negative, feelings about us here.
He might.
No Muslims, believe me, and I got no problem with some of them. They're great people. But I also got problems with some others, just like you do with anybody.
And we got some good apples here. We got some bad apples here.
Yes,
It's in every
absolutely.
country.
Absolutely, yes.
You know, you run into over and over again, what would you want to refer to it as? People that just don't have a real concept of what it's like to be in the military because they were never in there.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
There are others that have absolutely no concept of what it's like to be in the military and get shot at.
Mm-hmm.
And as such, I feel sorry for them on two reasons. One, what they just are missing out. Two, I'm extremely happy for them because they never had to go through that crap.
Yeah.
You know, I got a mixed coin there. When someone says, oh, he hasn't been in combat. Well, screw you, Jack. Have you ever been shot at? Well, what does that mean? Why don't you run out there about 100 yards and let me take a couple of pot shots at you? And by the way, bring along a pair of shorts to change into. You know, I feel sorry. Excuse me. I feel sorry for people who don't understand. When you're out there on the ground getting shot at, it ain't a picnic. When you're on board a ship getting shot at, it ain't a picnic. When you're in a $7 million aircraft flying along and someone's shooting at you, it's not exactly what you'd call a pleasant deal. And to be a pilot, you've got to have an ego. You got to have confidence. I mean, you really have confidence. You have to have guts and integrity because the guy that's flying next to you, your wingman, you have to trust him explicitly.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly.
I think that's what they're showing in this movie. There was tremendous camaraderie between Cruise's character, Maverick, and his wingman. They weren't enemies, they were friends.
Yes.
And you want somebody there that you can trust. You have faith in them and confidence. And that's what this movie is showing.
Mm-hmm.
And people object to that?
That's what both movies showed. Faith and confidence in your wingman, and in the second one, faith and confidence in those that you are training for this mission, a mission that they're even told you might not come back from this mission alive.
Exactly.
In one movie where these guys were going up to do stuff, they had a mug and they would turn it upside down, meaning they were going out on a death mission. Question is, who's going to come back to turn that mug back upright?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what was implied that so few people caught. I got told that by somebody who was in combat in an airplane and was at the place where that thing was actually filmed, that movie, 12 O'Clock High, in World War II. And he was there. So, yeah, there's all kinds of things that you just don't imagine. They always say it's the best of times, it's the worst of times.
Mm-hmm.
That's being in the military and combat.
Yep. And before I continue on and we continue on, I do want to say hello to Baron Orman Tag and Jet Sparks. And Baron, I've got a question for you.
Where the hell have you been, soldier?
Training, sir! Training, sir!
What kind of training, son?
Army training, sir! Army training, sir!
Not quite army training, but we're in the middle of taking care of some stuff around here with the house and such because, we got that going for sale here, so it's kind of took me away for a little bit there and going to have to do some more work here. But, yeah. hopefully we can get the house sold and get some good money and get in their place.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. So, Baron, did you have a chance to read this article?
No, I did not read any articles. I'm afraid I'm rather ignorant, but I think right there the main headline there, and especially from where it came from, PMSNBC. It's I don't mean to be mean here, but anything I see MSNBC on, I think Clown World right away, and I don't even register it as even a viable news source. I'm sorry, I'm being cruel, but that's the case.
No, you're not being cruel. You're being truthful.
Yeah, I mean, their reputation is so horrid right now. It's like using USA Today as fact checkers. And it's like you're talking about Mick Paper. I mean, this isn't journalism. It's
tabloid. It's tabloid stuff. Yeah.
Well, it's not even tabloid. At least tabloids have you can laugh at. I mean, you can open up a National Enquirer. Yeah, they're hit pieces. They're it's yellow journalism. It's slime. At least you can open a National Enquirer and get a good laugh. I mean, I missed the World Weekly News, which was 100% pure parody, but I mean, tabloid journalism, you can at least laugh at it, roll your eyes, and it's like, oh yeah, it's just kind of over the top. This stuff is just not hiding an agenda. It's not hiding anything other than the fact that I'm a pissy little guy and wham, wham, wham. It's like you had Prince Harry on there. So yeah, I mean, it's to be expected. It's something that's positive and building up, especially us here. NBC is not going to like it. MSNBC is not going to like it at all.
Nope.
That's not. They hate America. Why am I going to listen to someone who hates America? And I know that's a hard accusation, but listen to them. They hate America. They hate this nation. This movie right here is showing the things that I've not seen the second film. I just saw the first film the other day again. But obviously it's showing pride in your country, pride in the people who protect the country. And yes, over the top, and basically, quote unquote, Top Gun, the first one, was like a Navy recruiting film, which, in many ways was, but even that little clip that you showed from Stripes, that was a bit of a recruiting film, much to Bill Murray's chagrin.
Yeah.
Bill Murray didn't like that, but the thing is what they're doing, showing the Army in that one, was a bit of a recruiting tool too. The Army loved it. They wanted to use as much as they could for Stripes to get people to join in.
Yeah.
But so here you have something that's positive, something that's showing the United States in something other than a bad light, and that we're bad people and we're the cause of all the ists and phobes in the world.
Just enough.
No, we basically taken over being the whipping boy from the world from England. Where England was the whipping boy of the world until their empire crumbled down to nothing, and now it's the quote unquote American empire. And I use the empire phrase loosely, but that's how they view it.
Yeah.
Now it's time to attack because it's the most prominent nation. It's the nation that influences. It's the nation that keeps this world alive. It keeps this world alive. As the United States, I've said to you before, Mike. I said
yes,
to you,
you have.
To Cash. I don't think I ever said on air. And please forgive me if I say this, if it crosses over the line, what your rules are. But if the United States...
I'll make an exception in this case.
Okay. Because I'm not getting overtly political. I'm just saying the fact. If the United States goes down, so does the world. We are the last bastion. I know that sounds egotistical, but if that's not the case, then why does everybody seem to want to flock to us? Whether they're fleeing their nations, looking for a better life, or, for that matter, looking for a handout. If this nation goes down, China's not going to be able to pick it up. England is gone. I mean, there's no way they can. Russia is in a quagmire right now with a little situation going on over there.
Yeah.
So who's going to be next? India, Australia, New Zealand? I mean, none of
those
these
countries can do it.
Well, it looks like also this guy Zishan Alim he was born in 85. He's 37 years old.
Yeah.
His birthplace is New York, America.
Okay.
His religion is Islam, if this is exactly correct, which I think it is. His ethnicity is South Asian. So yeah, there you go. He also has a master's degree, which is impressive, and he also went to the University of Chicago, which is impressive too. But he's also worked for Vox.
Well, I
He's
got
worked for the
another
Huffington Post. Yeah.
non-news agency.
Ooh.
You know, again, anybody who takes Huffington Post or Vox serious is in need of some serious
They
help.
put out hit pieces, and they attack
between those
yeah.
two and MSNBC, I do have a question. I'm just trying to lighten the mood a little bit.
Yeah.
And that question is,
What would you say you do here?
Yeah. Yeah, if you could get some real news stories in on Saturday, that'd be great. And yeah, we'll probably need some for Sunday also. So if you could get some real news out there, that'd be great.
Yeah.
What's this? Two squirrels doing pokey in the park. Two geezers playing chess. What is all this, Parker? That's what I can imagine. Some editor at the New York Post is probably like J. Jonah Jameson somehow.
well, it's not from the New York Post. The New York Post is just reprinting
Repeating
the
story.
article, and yeah.
Whether there's
Has anybody found out how that movie is doing in England, Germany, France?
Oh, dude, I know of a German person in one of the groups I'm in. He loved freaking Top Gun Maverick. Loved it.
Yeah, but I'm talking about how much it grows money wise.
I'm sure it did very well
I'm
worldwide.
already on New York, not New York, but Internet Movie Database and Box Office Mojo to be more precise, and I can give you those figures here in a second.
Mike is all over it.
You got a guy in Germany, I got a guy in England. The guy in England wants a copy for himself.
Well, I think again, this film is one that's returning back to is crumbling something out that they don't want to see also, and that's the fact that you're having a film that's not overtly message and politically correct and woke, and they don't want to see a film like that succeed. They only want the woke stuff because they only want their message out. So this movie is a big threat to them, as it should be.
Mm-hmm. And Top Gun Maverick made $1.4 billion. So it goes to show that as far as the domestic gross was concerned, it was $718 million, while internationally, get this, internationally it made $774 million. Not bad for a movie that preaches patriotism and the American military.
True.
And the American, dare I say, the American way.
Yeah.
But the funny part about it is, a lot of these other countries in Europe.
Did he freeze? I think he froze.
He froze.
He's in carbonite. Okay.
He was frozen today. Okay, I need to get that.
My time got here.
Well, I need to find that clip of Christopher Lloyd from Suburban Commando. I was frozen today.
But as it goes for people around the world, what do they love? They love American cinema, and most importantly, they like to glom onto things like this. Or I know for a long time in Norway, the cowboys and Indians was a very popular thing. So if you had westerns and western outfits, they were going nuts over it. I mean, Levi's was the thing because Levi's was so synonymous. They figured with the cowboys and whatnot. So I mean, you have a lot of people in Europe and other nations, other continents that love our cinema. They try to copy our cinema. Because that's what it is. So if you have something good that comes out, and especially one that kind of stokes the myth of America. And yeah, America has its myths. I mean, obviously, these films here, Top Gun and Top Gun Maverick, is a mythical creature. It really is, because you're highlighting that hero, the problems the hero goes through to try to get above that adversity. These are perfect films for laying down our modern mythological folklore, and other nations eat stuff like that up. Because for many people, and I'm not talking about the political hacks in these other countries, whatever, but I'm talking about the average person. Many of them are enamored by the United States. They love our music. They love our dress sense, all across the board. I'm not saying it's everybody, but there's a lot of people out there. So, of course, a film like this is going to.
I've worked with exchange students that absolutely loved being here for the time they were here.
Yeah. And of course, as I said earlier, all these people want their dream is to come to America and make it big.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, again, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's pretty much on right there in the Bill of Rights. But the people who basically say that we need communism, here's an idea. You are still contributing to the same sort of freedoms that we all have, and yet you want communism. If you want all that, move to North Korea, move to China, move to Russia, for crying out loud. If you want that, go there. And don't come back to the US. Don't ever come back. That's my saying to all these people who say they want communism. Go and live under it, and then say, "Oh, please, I want my citizenship back."
That's what a lot of people from Venezuela are saying, or people that fled Cuba are saying.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to know what it's like? Why don't you live in that country?
Just listen to that interview of Pitbull. He makes a lot of sense about it. It's crazy.
Well, yeah.
I don't want to live in Cuba. I like living here. Yes, we have a lot of problems, but
every country doesn't. What country doesn't?
And that's just it.
I don't want to live in Cuba.
No, and that's just it. We're not saying that we're flawless. As it states in there, a more perfect union. It doesn't say a perfect union, a more perfect union. In other words, they figured that they're doing something better than what everybody else was. And, that goes right. I mean, at least they're humble enough, our founding fathers, to put that in there and realizing that we're flawed people. We're just trying to do the best we can, and we're hoping that it works.
And a lot of people like to say we're a democracy. No, we're a republic.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, we're you could either go with constitutional or representative republic. Either or works for this because
Democratic Republic.
So, because we do elect our representatives, so to go out there, so that's the part that we have, quote unquote, democracy. Then it's their job to, represent the people that they're out there for.
Yeah.
Which is important. Why the people have to live in their districts or in their states, and that's the reason why we have Washington D.C. because it was set up to be kind of a neutral zone. Because if you have senators and representatives that had to live there, well, they couldn't have residents in other states. So you had a district, a federal district, neutral.
Yeah, and that's exactly. But that's why hearing people have been trying to change that and make it an actual official state.
Yeah, well, that's shenanigans all the way across the board. And my attitude is when they came up with the District of Columbia, they should have put in the rulings that the only reason why you should be living in this district is you have something to do with what's going on with the government. Whether, obviously, I have a restaurant in here to take care of you. Okay, you're good. Okay, we have this university. We're transient students. Okay, I'm a teacher here. Okay, you're fine. Unless you want to live in Virginia or whatever, go across the border. That's fine. But you have business for being in this district. It's not a place to start dumping a bunch of people to try to. You have crack houses literally across the street from the White House.
Yes.
And I do want to say good morning, good afternoon, good evening to Helion. How are you?
Hello.
So, we should revel in the fact that we have such a great system. And it is a good system, despite what anybody says. The Electoral College is a good system, whether they like it or not. Does it mean that's going to go your way? Not always. But
life doesn't always go our way. Hate
Oh,
to break
no.
it to people, but life doesn't always go our way.
Yeah.
Plans don't always go the way we want them to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. I'm going through that right now.
Yeah. I know one thing. There's two things I have to deal with. I think the brakes on my car are kind of like messing up for some reason. I think it's leaking, and also the thing, latch thing that on my toilet broke, and I had to go down to the hardware store. I had to walk down there and go grab one.
That's because I cut his brake lines.
Baron,
What?
causing trouble already.
I always am. You know that.
We noticed that.
Yeah.
But I think Baron has got one big problem, just like I do. His back and my back are both, over the rainbow.
Oh yeah. I'm not feeling that good today, to be honest with you.
I'm sorry, brother.
That's no problem. It's just just visit me in the traction center. That's all I ask. Be that person who's at the end of the thing saying, "You can walk. Come on, you son of a bitch, you can walk."
And I get to go to the pain clinic here in a day or two.
Wasn't that Schwarzenegger film? Or I can't remember, but the one guy's partner was shot or whatever, or broken back and trying to whatever. And I don't know if it was a Stallone or a Schwarzenegger film, and they're yelling to the guy, "Come on, you can do it."
I'm trying to think what movie it was, but nothing's coming to mind.
I don't think it was Commando.
No.
I was wondering if it was one of his cop. I don't know. It's just one of those things that's in the fuzzy back areas of my so-called brain, next to that little monkey that clangs the cymbals and the little hamster that's on the wheel. Who's having his third heart attack now?
It wasn't Tango and Cash, was it?
Maybe. I think you're right. Tango and Cash. So it was a Tom Hanks film. And I think it was like Darren McGavin or somebody. I can't remember. Or who the partner was.
I can't remember one where they told him, you can walk. Okay. Takes his hands off the railings, takes a step. Boom. Flat on his face.
But we're not done with the rants this morning here on this edition of Pop Talk.
No.
Nope, not at all.
Should we call this rant talk?
I do have some good things to talk about, or at least one good thing.
Oh,
I do too. I had a bowel movement.
I did too.
Thanks for sharing, Barrett. I mean, I'm sure everybody's relieved now to know that everything's A-okay as far as
everything but the troublemaker. That's still,
All right. Cash, you and I have been talking about this offline plenty.
Oh my God! I was trying to avoid it, but boy, the flames going back and forth. We talked about it too.
As long as I don't have to hear about Baron's bathroom issues anymore.
Who said I was in the bathroom? Who says I was in the bathroom?
And for anyone that says April had curly hair, it was the 1980s. Then the big to-do, and I say the do part on purpose in hairdos, was the perm. I know because I grew up in the 80s. My sister had a perm. My grandmother had a perm, and many other women I knew had a perm.
Mike had a perm.
No.
He was inspired by Bob Ross.
Oh,
Mike
Ross.
A lot of guys.
It was Mike Ross.
If I was Mike Ross, I'd put a little happy little tree here. Maybe his cloud friend over here. Well, let's add a little bird friend right here. Welcome to PACIFIC414 Pop Talk, everyone.
We don't have any mistakes here. We just have happy little accidents. And speaking of happy little accidents, Cash, please carry on.
And hello, Whoopa Troopa.
Yes.
Whoopa Whoopa.
I don't think
and he
that's
says, make April hot again.
Unless it's just people drawing.
So,
drawing conclusions.
Yeah, try
This
and
article
get-
comes from Comic Book News, and it says TMNT April O'Neil is white, not black. And this all stems from the trailer that was released for Mutant Mayhem, which looks like crap.
Yeah.
Now, excuse me, you got April Neil. Who was that? She-Hulk next to her?
No, that's April as well. That's the new April.
So she's green?
I like to call her the new version of Lizzo. So yes.
Oh.
That too. Yeah.
Well, I mean, she's green, so it's like, is it Swamp Thing then? Or I don't know what.
The art style is interesting. That's what I'm going to say about it.
It's something.
No, honestly, look at those two images side by side. Which one is the better one, honestly?
The
It's
87
obviously the
April.
one
I
on the left.
always stick with the 87 April because those are the turtles I grew up with.
That's right.
But, I mean, I'm just talking about even the art style.
Yeah. I mean, heck, even the one in the one that was on the original Nickelodeon one that was CGI. I think, yeah, she was like at least looked like a teenager, but she still had her red hair.
Well,
And-
you know, that's another thing that I saw on Twitter where people were saying, "I can't believe you're, getting all excited about a 16-year-old," and even saying that the 87 April was 16 years old. No, she was a news reporter, and even
Was
in
in
an
her 20s.
episode of the third season, she says she's 28 years old.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's working for an actual news service. You're not going to have a 16-year-old driving a news van around.
No,
Right.
Exactly. And the same thing goes. I don't know or understand why. I mean, literally the whole thing with Megan Fox. Let's just not get into that live action one. But heck, even the 2003 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on on the Fox box or by 4Kids TV, she was another good interpretation. Hell, she even got to actually kick some butt alongside the Turtles and Casey Jones and Splinter.
Mm-hmm. Well, don't get
and
me started
hello
with
to John
Splinter.
Rendell.
Hi, John.
Super Wrench.
Yo, John.
Hey, John, my Super Wrench.
And hello, Whoopa and DJ Ronnie.
But everybody who's saying, "Oh, April's always been black," no,
No.
Everyone says that
She had a perm.
This is
And-
actually the second time
and-
they've race swapped her too. It's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
And you know what? The first time they did it, a lot of people ended up liking the portrayal of the character because it still held true to the character.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was going to say is, growing up in the Turtle Mania craze that was the late 80s into the 90s, I had a wall calendar for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that had the different comic book covers for each of the 12 months.
Mm-hmm.
And it even had April with the perm.
Right.
So
And
this,
I was going to say, and you used that calendar 3 years in a row because you liked it so much.
well, there was a particular cover I liked, and when my mom saw it, she saw that was in this calendar. I'm like, yeah. And at the time, I just looked at her. I said, "Mom, it's okay."
He said, "Today I am a man."
Yeah, pretty much.
Thank you, cover.
So this comes from Cosmic Book News, and it was posted by Matt McGibbon on the 8th. And it says TMNT April O'Neil is white, not black. Hollywood loves to replace characters with red hair, of which there can be no doubt. And it goes on to say, woke Hollywood is back at it and has replaced another red-haired character with a person of color. This time with April O'Neil in Seth Rogen's upcoming Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem CGI animated movie. Well, if that's CGI, that looks like shit.
It does. Absolutely does.
It's not a good look. It isn't. And it's just, that's April. This is the second time. It's the same argument. And sometimes we've accepted this race swapping. I remember they race swapped Jimmy Olsen in Supergirl, and he felt like Jimmy Olsen until they made him a victim. Then it all went.
I'm a victim.
I know.
Well, wait, you always say that when you're on Pop Talk.
True.
The article continues by saying it's not the first time, as the Nickelodeon Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles animated series also replaces April with an African American girl. The article goes on to say, with the latest switcheroo, the question of April O'Neil's skin color has once again come up, where the woke lefties are claiming April has always been a person of color. And that if you think April has been white, you must be a racist. Of course.
Of course.
You have to be.
Is April O'Neil white or black? However, that is not the case, as April O'Neil clearly is white in the original comics, and original artist Peter Laird says so. If you ask me, I always saw April O'Neil as white, said Laird. As the co-creator of the character of April O'Neil, and as someone who has always imagined her as white, and very likely of Irish, Scottish, English ancestry. And it also goes on to say, co-creator Kevin Eastman also revealed that originally Laird designed April as Asian in his notes, probably to, along with the ninja aspect. And Eastman says he named the character after an African American woman I once knew, not that he created the character based on her. YouTuber Eric July, who recently launched his own multi-million-dollar comic book and publishing company, went over the specifics on YouTube and in a Twitter thread featuring art from the original comic books and quotes from both Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird. And yes, let me see if I can highlight one of these pictures, because I'm not ashamed.
Oh, is this
as soon as it loads up? All right, come on, load up for me. Come on.
But yeah, definitely with the red hair and April O'Neil. Geez, I wonder where she might have had her ancestry from.
There we go. Now we got it loaded up. And I'm gonna go ahead and replace it, because I told you guys there was one particular image in that calendar that my mom was kind of like, "What? This was in it?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's okay."
What is it? April in a swimsuit or something?
But no. I'll show you because
Irma in a swimsuit.
This is actually part of the calendar.
Turtle
this
style.
Was the image.
Oh no!
Well, that's not bad.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it's quite tasteful, actually.
Right.
Got a little cleavage and.
What?
Yeah, that was one of the pages. It didn't say Eastman and Laird's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They removed that, but it was part of the page for the month.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember which month it was, but
it was a good month.
I just see some other there's other problems with this. Wingnut and Leatherhead did their gender swap. They're now female or something. Or these decisions are just idiotic. They really are. And
I do want to say hello to Bush McFadden, who says her last name is O'Neill. She's Shaq's mother. Oh, get your card shirts from the general and get some icy hot.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And Papa John's.
Yep, and Epson too.
DJ asked the question if they really wore yellow jumpsuits back then. I was alive, but yeah, I saw some women in yellow jumpsuits.
All colors. All colors.
Is that still? That still might be a thing somewhere. I don't know. That might still be a thing somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah, I saw like pink, purple, white, black, yellow.
My wife wore a white jumpsuit.
Yeah.
And of course we have tweets here from Eric July and trying to educate these young kids. And here's the cover where everybody's saying, no, she was black. No, it's the 80s. Perms. They were very popular.
They were thinking about first making her Asian in the comic. They decided to make her white. Yes, that's called thinking. What do you guys want to do? If they just made her Asian, people would be like, "Oh, she's Asian." Now, in the 3D version, what was it, the Nickelodeon one? She's a teenager. Yes,
and shouldn't be. Really,
I don't know. The thing is, the
Yeah.
storylines aren't bad in that 3D one. Some of the animation, though, I don't care for, but the storylines aren't too bad.
Yeah. Look, I don't care. The only like knowledge I have of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is the 2 live action movies by Jim Henson, the 3 ones.
Those are the 2 that matter, yes, and the 2003 one animated one where Patrick Stewart is the bad guy. Yes,
That was 2007.
Was it? Oh crap!
Yeah.
No, TMNT. I'm talking about the one that was on like Saturday morning.
Yeah, but Cash was mentioning the other movie, the animated movie, which was 2007. That's what I'm referring to.
That's CG. Yeah, that's CGI animated one. Yeah.
Oh my God, you guys are nerds.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
I'm not that big of a nerd for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but at least I'm aware of who all of them are, and at least most of some of these characters and what they are.
I mean, I grew up with this, Baron, so yeah.
This was my childhood. My childhood was filled with Thundercats, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and so many others.
Yeah, but the other most obscure version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the one that was produced by Saban, The Next Mutation. Mm-hmm. And ironically enough, they crossed over with...
All right, Jet. Bye. Don't ever mention that horrible, atrocious thing again. Don't ever do it.
Wow.
Look, I know that show was bad. Yes, even the crossover wasn't very good either. It was terrible.
Even Peter Laird, who originally approved it, after seeing it, he went, "No, I'm not even going to acknowledge this thing."
Heck, even the guy who played the Red Ranger in Space said that crossover was ridiculous and dumb. Yeah, Christopher.
Boy, that escalated quickly. I mean, that really got out of hand fast.
I'm just saying though. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you guys. That show was not very good. Yep. And even like the Power Rangers crossover is not good. Like I said, Christopher Cameron Lee even said it was bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was the Red Ranger in that season. He said it was bad. And he's a big fan of them too.
And this article goes on to say, why change April? April O'Neil has also been depicted as an attractive red-haired white woman since her first appearance of April in the second issue of TMNT, as well as the popular cartoon, so she's never been black. Worth a mention is that Seth Rogen's choice of replacement also deviates from the look of April O'Neil in a big way, no matter what color you think the character is supposed to be. Why replace April, and why not create a new character? Well, I'm going to go ahead and answer that question. It's because they're too afraid to create a new character and give the audience a chance to know that character.
And
they'd rather swap out an existing character instead of taking that risk, creating a new character, giving us as an audience who are watching the show, movie, or the reader any reason whatsoever as to be invested in this new character.
Well, it's also part of the plan too, to destroy what is there and warp and twist it into something else. Because if they can do that with our folklore, our entertainment like this, what else can they try to attempt to twist and warp and to what they want to have it? It's a part of subversion because these people hate. I mean, I'll put it right down. I bet you Seth Rogen hates the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well, we already had somebody who said he hated He-Man, and then he got a chance at making not one but 2 He-Man series for Netflix.
Right. Yeah, fun, huh? But it's even beyond doing the lazy. They want to destroy what's already there. And look what they did with She-Hulk and how they destroyed that. And they admitted that was their goal publicly, which was the biggest, stupidest thing they could ever do. But again,
from what I understand, April is going to be the, shall we say, the female identity is the same as that one from Scooby-Doo.
Well,
Velma had a movie that came out.
Yeah. Well, the thing is again, one of the things they put in there too is they're going after redheads again.
Yes.
Why? What is this? If the first thing they want to go for is to eliminate the redhead. I like redheads.
Yeah, exactly. I know people can joke about saying they have no souls and whatever, but come on, they're some of the most beautiful
They have no souls and they take souls. Well,
yeah. Well,
okay.
Take mine, please. Take mine, please. I'll share. I mean, even when it comes around to the villains, you figure that they keep at least the rating for the villains, but no, the latest Dune. One of the criticisms I have of the latest Dune series of movies is they're bald. Where's the red hair? They're known for their red hair. They're obvious. What the names, kind of giving that Slavic, Russian type name. Something that's out of Norse, Scandinavian, Slavic, all across that board, Harkonnen. But no, let's make them bald. It's like no. I mean, even the bad guys, if they're redhead, are bad girls if they're redhead, especially bad girls. Keep them that way. It's not a slight.
But they don't care. They want everyone to feel like anyone who is has very light skin, that they're all like people who are analogs to those dudes who wear white costume or wear ghost costumes. Yeah, they want to think that every person who is light skinned are all like that. Just stop with this. You guys need to stop with this. What is wrong with having care? I mean, heck, Idris Elba, I'm pretty sure he's played plenty of villain characters. He's played plenty of good villain characters.
Yeah.
And I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Heck, there's a character in Horizon Zero Dawn. I mean, the actor who plays him, Lance Reddick, he kind of has his own agenda, but he really kind of gives off the vibe that he's something of a villain himself. The way he talks, his mannerisms, he gives off that sort of sly, has his own agenda or villainous type vibe. So it's perfect.
And if you want a real kicker to this, some years back I worked with this very beautiful lady, very intelligent, very articulate. I liked the dickens out of her. Natural red hair. It wasn't dyed. It didn't come from a bottle. Now here's the kicker. She was black.
Nothing wrong with that.
No.
Not a bit.
Yeah.
But that's the finger in the eyeball. These people talk about red-headed people.
Yeah, and I mean, again, you could have red hair, but you could also not every person redhead is gonna have green eyes. Some redheads have blue eyes. Some redheads probably have hazel eyes.
Some have brown eyes.
Yeah, and again, brown eyes are probably the most. But I mean, again, people will say that you find brown eyes more attractive. Brown eyes are the most common eye color on Earth.
It's the same thing. What is it, Carrie? Right, from the Batman, and then of course Batgirl, Barbara. She has red hair. She actually has, wait for it, red hair in Gotham Knights.
Right, and again, the Robin from Dark Knight Returns. I mean, they're wanting to mess her up now, and it's like, why? That's a case where you actually had a female character replacing a male character, literally replacing their own character, and it worked. And there was a meaning behind it, and there was something
because they made us care about Carrie. That's what it comes down to. They made us care about her,
right? And put it in. It was a brilliant character. I think it was one of the most brilliant ones that they kind of did with in some of the comic book stories that they went across here. How were you going to replace the regular Robin? It's like so you're going to be putting her in as Robin. Well, what's so good about her? Oh, she is a good character, and then it's like people fell in love with her.
Yeah.
Yep. And this article continues to say, things about why not change, for a new character, create a new character. Why not make the Seth Rogan version of April's friend or something, so on and so forth. And they also go on to say, and if you think this is part of some agenda, which is to divide us, you're 100% wrong, as Hollywood has replaced dozens of red-haired characters as seen below. Are we 100% wrong? when we say they're doing this to divide us, because you have those of us who grew up with the property of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who some know both the comics and the animated series. Some know just the animated series.
Mm-hmm.
And they might consider this as a Hollywood plan to divide us even more, pit us together because we're changing a character.
Right. Yeah. And they ask, what's so important about it? Why is this such a big deal?
They're doing it. It's doing so-called to be the person and say, yeah, we're doing this so that people who have darker skin like me, so they can have somebody to identify with. And I say, you can take this big L right in front of me. You can take this L right here.
Yeah, and here's the thing too, Jet. There are great black characters, both in comic and TV series that have been made.
Yeah, exactly. I like Jon Stewart's Green Lantern, and I know about this character from the DCAU, and of course I love Static. I love Static.
Static's pretty cool.
Right, and let's go into the Star Wars universe. Lando Calrissian, everyone loves Orlando, and that was a character that was added into the mix. It didn't change anything. It wasn't even a part that was. There was an ambiguous part of it could be anybody that takes this part, and it just happened to go to the best actor.
Yeah, just have someone who's just a dude who's and again, he's just very, very suave and whatnot.
Right.
But I know, and again, but for me, when I write characters, I already have a clear idea in my head what this character is supposed to look like, how their mannerisms are, and I even briefly describe what they look like always.
Well, I brought this one part up several times. I'll bring it up again. Hunt for Red October, the movie. Jonesy was played by a black actor. And then they decided to pounce on Tom Clancy because Tom Clancy's was right at center. Unfortunately, he's passed away. Because I'm sure they wanted to get some sort of ist and phobe type of statement out of him. And as he sat back and said, when I wrote Jonesy, it just was a character. I didn't have anything more than the fact that there was this person sitting at this radio. And they did a great job casting him. And now,
exactly.
I think he even sat back and said, now that's who I'm going to picture Jonesy from now on.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's got to be author.
Yeah, because some characters you have a clearer point of what they look like when you describe them, and you have characters that are kind of more left up to your interpretation.
Right. And when you have characters left up to interpretation, you can.
Those to me are the best characters, are the ones that you have to use your imagination as to what that character looks like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or how they sound, or all that. I mean, and then of course, then you're going to get several different interpretations of what they think this person looks like and is.
Yeah.
In Tool Time, you never got to see the neighbor cross. Going back further, they had what was it again? Police Squad, where you see this big tall guy come in. You see him from the neck down, never see his face. What he looks like, you gotta guess. Just in Tool Time. I guess.
In Home Improvement with Wilson, all you saw were his eyes.
Yeah, it was the thing with what they did with, of course, in Frasier, where they didn't show a certain character, and same thing they did in Cheers. Mm-hmm. So it was kind of the same situation, except they just kind of showed his head and
Vera for Cheers.
Yes, Vera for Cheers.
Even though we did see her once, but her face was covered with pie. That was the Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah, I mean, heck, Inspector Gadget, Dr. Claw. You only heard the voice. You never saw the face.
Right.
Yeah.
Why they decided to do that in the movie and change that is just beyond.
Oh God, Rupert Everett.
Well, why did they have to take the helmet off of Dredd in Judge Dredd, the Stallone film?
Yeah.
I mean,
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there are certain things that are so iconic you cannot change it. It ruins. I mean, one factor was ruined by its own creator, and that's been the age-old fight of Han shot first. And why is one little scene like that so hotly debated and and gone over. And by the way, I'm in the Han shot first category, by the way, so I am biased that way. But most importantly, that one little scene set up exactly who Han Solo was and what world that he was living in. That he was living in a dangerous world where he could be fried at any moment, and you'd be an idiot if you allowed the other person to shoot first.
Yeah.
And, and I, as a 7 or 8-year-old kid in the theater watching it, was not repulsed by it. It's like, yeah, I understand. Many of us did back then. This is think of Tuco in The Good, Bad, and the Ugly, when he's in the bathtub.
Yeah.
If you're going to shoot. If you're going to talk, yeah. If you're going to talk. If you're going to shoot. Yeah. I mean, and obviously, I think that was one of the big inspiration for that scene. So you changed it around. You have now just deconstructed that character. You took away an element of just a matter of a few seconds that would take dialogue sometimes for other people to try to explain.
Well, even in not Good, Bad, and the Ugly, but Dirty Harry, there's very little dialogue in that movie.
Right. Well, gentlemen, I got to go. I got some stuff to take care of. My apologies, but I'll talk with you all later.
All right, Baron.
Yep.
All right,
you
Baron.
take care, brother.
Yeah, you do.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
Take care. Give a call.
So, continuing on with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Seth Rogan, I'm going to make this very brief, is according to this article from Bounding in the Comics, Seth Rogan's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem to gender swap Leatherhead and Wingnut. Again, why not create new characters?
I mean, heck, like Secret of the Ooze created Token and Tokara and Razor.
Yeah.
I mean, they basically were meant to be Bebop and Rocksteady, but they just couldn't do it.
They couldn't get the rights.
Yeah.
And
What's absolutely scary for them is if they had to invent a new character in something, and the new character turns out to be really mega popular.
You never know.
Well,
you present the character well. You give the reader or the viewer a reason to care about the character. Like I said before,
yes,
you never know how popular this character might grow.
Yep. I mean, I don't even think Irma's in this, and Irma was a good character. And I don't even think Casey Jones is in this Turtles movie. At least I didn't see him in the trailer, unless they're hiding him or something.
That's a crime, lawbreaker.
It is, man. Definitely.
I mean, Cash, you know this from last year when we got word that Shredder's Revenge was going to be coming out. How many times did I talk about it? How many times did I talk about the Cowabunga collection?
Yeah, a lot. Which is good. I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's a number of games that are fun. But
I couldn't wait to play a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game.
Yep.
And yeah, it was nostalgia, but
right.
So what? So this article says, while most fans' attentions were understandably more focused on producer Seth Rogen's decision to subject April O'Neil to her second race swap in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem, it seems two more members of the Turtles cast have likewise received a modern update. Modern update, and we're making this for modern audiences. Warning signs.
Yeah.
These changes revealed in a series of promotional images released alongside the trailer, which did announce the actors' participation but did not specify their roles. It appears that Wingnut and Leatherhead will have their gender swapped in their silver screen debuts. Per said images, the franchise's resident Batman parody will be portrayed by actress Natasha Dimitru. I don't know if I'm saying that last name right, but... And it says one of the stars of the television version of What We Do in the Shadows, while the fan favorite Crocodile Mutant will be brought to life by Peter Rabbit and X-Men First Class star Rose Byrne. Well, I'm sorry, but I don't think Rose Byrd's gonna have quite the chops to, do old Leatherhead, I guarantee. And if you all know Jim Cummings' original voice for Leatherhead from the 87 series, you know where I'm going. So it goes on to say, as noted above, these casting decisions under the presumption that, like both this film and Across the Spider-Verse, respective characters must share their superficial traits with their voice actors, will result in the two characters being presented as women rather than their originally intended male forms. Goes on to say, first briefly introduced in the Peter Laird produced comic series included with American food producer Ralston Purina's 1989 serial, Wingnut makes his first proper appearance in the 123rd episode of the 87 animated series, Zack and the Alien Invaders. And then we have therein the bat-like creature is depicted as an alien invader intent on taking over planet Earth. His plan to turn the children of Earth into mindless zombies, ultimately stopped by the Turtles. The franchise's expanded universe later sees Wingnut become one of their staunchest allies. And of course, he is a boss in Shredder's Revenge. And it says, conversely, though, Wingnut is a rather minor character in the whole of TMNT lore, Leatherhead is one of the series' most recognizable and beloved characters, and this is actually Leatherhead's first appearance, and also the same episode where April mentions how old she is. It says, rising from the sewers in the sixth issue of Brian Brown and Jim Lawson's canon 1988 series tells of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, itself launched by Mirage Studios to specifically introduce characters and expand the Turtles support cast. Leatherhead began life as a baby alligator in the Florida Everglades. However, after coming into contact with the series' signature mutagen, Leatherhead found himself not only sporting a new humanoid form, but also an equivalent intellect. Sorry. Let's see. It also goes on to say, in the aftermath of his change, Leatherhead finds himself regularly running into the Turtles, sometimes as their enemy, a role he most notably fulfilled in the 87 cartoon, but mostly as their ally. And of course, as is particularly obvious, given his constantly shirtless appearance, Leatherhead was originally created as a male character. And it goes on to say, in a brief aside, these characters' alterations, April included, come as particularly hilarious as while Rogan clearly made them in the name of representation, his own role in the film as Bebop actually whitewashes an originally black character. As shown during his pop culture debut in the 1987 cartoon, its very first episode, prior to being exposed to Shredder's machinations, Bebop was an outright black man, and Rocksteady was a white man, and they were both street thugs.
Yes.
And it goes on to say, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem grinds into theaters on August 4th, 2023. So, yeah. There's that. And then I've got something else, and then we'll be done with the Seth Rogan crap. I promise you. No more about Seth Rogan after this one. Because we're all adults here. We've all faced criticism at one point or another, whether it be in our personal or professional lives. Well, Seth Rogan, on the other hand, says negative reviews are devastating, and I know people who have never recovered. Where's my violin? My very small violin. Oh, you hear that, guys? You hear that? He's crying. He doesn't like the fact that people give him negative reviews. Critics give negative reviews on movies that deserve them. Quite frankly.
Hey, Seth, you want to get over you crying? Why don't you smoke a bowl like you always do? That calm you down.
That's about the only impression of Seth Rogen you'll get.
No, stop it! You're only making him sexier. I know my impression of him is not very good either.
That's all right. That's all right. I do want to say hello to Phil McCracken. How you doing, Phil? And he says, "Wake up, Cash Money." Cash Money is awake.
I'm just listening to Mike. Jeez, trying to be rude again, Phil.
The Padawannabe says, "Oh, now they're going to finally say that Jazz from Transformers was black too." Well, Scatman Carruthers did voice him. I mean, it doesn't matter. He did a damn good job voicing the character.
Yeah, I'll call myself Bumblebee. It's cute and unfriendly. Yeah, I really like the mutant these cats. I'm gonna call myself Jazz. I will call myself Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime. I'm gonna call myself Maximus Genitalia.
I want to sit down with Seth Rogen and ask.
No, I know what swoop you're referring to. That's why I'm laughing. But go ahead, Cash.
I want to sit down with Seth Rogen and be like, James Avery voiced Shredder. He's the first one to do it for at least 2 seasons, something like that.
He did it for the majority of the season. Of the seasons that the show was on.
I wonder if he even knows that. Probably he might, but he might not.
Because I don't know what the specifics were, but he did voice Shredder for some of season 7, and then Jim Cummings took over, and it may have had something to do with the fact that James Avery was on Fresh Prince at the time, so could have been scheduling conflict. But this article from The Guardian says the actor described the effect of criticism in the film industry and said it can feel like a very personal rejection. Well, if your movie is crap, of course we're going to reject it. And of course critics will too. So it goes on to say... Go ahead, old man.
I said, you produced it, so it should be personal.
Yeah. And this article goes on to say Seth Rogen has said that negative reviews from critics are devastating and that some people in the film industry have never recovered from them. Oh, no. Oh, no.
Oh, please take it that way.
Speaking to Stephen Bartlett of the Diary, of CEO podcast, Rogan described negative press coverage as a trade-off for success in the film industry, but said that criticism hurts everyone. He said, I think if most critics knew how much it hurts the people that made the things that they are writing about, they would second guess what they write these things. The way they write these things, sorry.
Seth, I got news for you. They don't give a crap.
No. It's devastating. If I know people who have... Okay. I know people who have never recovered from it honestly. A year, decades of being hurt by film reviews, it's very personal. That's something that people carry with them literally their entire lives, and I get why. It fucking sucks. Oh, give me a break. You're in Hollywood, the land of make-believe. If somebody is there to critique your film, they are going to let people know this is why you should see a movie. This is why you shouldn't see a movie. Heck, I've seen mixed reviews for 65. Some people, like me, enjoyed it. Some people, not so much. And you know what? It's all part of your personal preferences when it comes to a movie or TV show, what you like and what you don't like. Anyways, This article says it feels like a very personal rejection. He added, asked about Green Hornet, the 2011 superhero movie, of which Guardian critic Peter Bradshaw said, everything about it is disappointing. Rogan said the reviews were coming out and it was pretty bad. People hated it, and it seemed like people were taking joy in disliking it a lot. But it opened to like 35 million, which was the biggest opening weekend I'd ever been associated with. It did pretty well. In contrast, he said the reaction to the 2014 Kim Jong-un assassination comedy, the interview was more painful. People were taking joy in talking shit about it and really questioning the types of people that would want to make a movie like that. Well, because it was crap.
Yeah.
The movie was crap. I watched it thinking, okay, is this movie as bad as they're saying? And I watched it and went, yeah, it is. And you want to know where I watched it? Netflix. Said that felt more personal. Green Hornet felt like I had fallen victim, which was true, to a big fancy thing that was not so much a creative failure on our parts, but a conceptual failure. The interview, people treated us like we creatively failed, and he says it sucked. And I'm not going to read the rest of this. Guess what? Again, when you're a public figure or you're on a public platform, even YouTube, you open yourself to criticism. Some people are going to like what you do. Some people aren't going to like what you do. It's how you handle that criticism. And you know what? Maybe, just maybe, because I'll even do it here. I even asked a question on a YouTube channel this morning to someone who watches my channel. You know, what do you think? You think I should cut back on this and focus more on this? And I'll tell you what it was. I asked this person, should I cut back on the baseball content and focus more on Pop Talk and video game streams? Or do you think it's fine the way it is? And the person gave me their answer. And I don't disagree with the person. I really don't. Because it's something that's been on the back of my mind for a while. Especially with MLB.TV going up in price. But yeah, whether you're going through school, you're going through your professional life, personal life, you're going to receive criticism. It's how you handle that criticism that will make you. And DJ Ronnie G shedding tears. Oh man, don't shed tears. Padawannabe says they should just be happy at how many opportunities are available in the visual arts. It's never been so available. Well, I guess that sucks. Well, you know, these are people who make more money than we'll see in our lifetimes.
And also they fill upwards too.
Yeah. Yeah, they do. All right, so I'm just gonna check one thing on Box Office Mojo to see if they've updated their box office numbers, and they have not. So I'm gonna go look for a different source later on, but there is an article I did want to talk about because I might actually pick this up when I'm able to, and it's related to manga, and it's also related to Hellsing. And for anyone who may have seen Hellsing or Hellsing Ultimate, you might be interested in this as well. And so this article from Bounty in the Comics says Dark Horse Comics to reprint Hellsing manga in paperback with more accurate translations. And this is actually sourced from Nerdgasm. and it was posted on the 10th. It says, it seems the series deluxe hardcover editions were not enough to satiate fans' thirst, as just 3 years after these premium releases hit shelves, Dark Horse Comics has announced plans to once again unleash the legions of the damned onto bookshelves with a new reprint of the classic vampire manga Hellsing. So it goes on to say, created by Manaka Kota Harano, I can't even say that word, but the serial from 1997 to 2008 in Shohun Gosha's Young Arts magazine. Hellsing centers around the powerful vampire lord Alucard, who, alongside the titular organization, fights in defense of humanity against the legions of undead and ghastly creatures that haunt the British Isles. Goes on to say, however, when the number of attacks across the nation begin to occur with increased frequency, the group discovers that a Yahtzee splinter group known as Millennium are seeking to use the supernatural to restore the Third Reich to power. Goes on to say, taking it upon themselves to once again put their world conquering plans to rest, Hellsing soon finds themselves Millennium and the Vatican secret hit squad. And it goes on to say, in a three-way skirmish for the fate of the world. And that other word was scared. Sorry. An essential read ever since its late 90s debut, Dark Horse announced on March 9th that the beloved horror manga will once again rise from the grave this winter in the form of all new paperback editions. Listed as the Hellsing second edition, this run of the series will notably feature the revised, more accurate translations previously provided by longtime Berserk translator Dwayne Johnson. And we're not talking about The Rock, it's different Dwayne, for the aforementioned 2020 hardcover release. Well, that says 2020. So when was this article posted? They posted on 2023, so all right. As per Dark Horse, Hellsing second edition's first volume will retail at $14.99. That doesn't seem too bad. And is slated to first drop into bookstores on November 7th before landing in comic book shops the next day. Pre-orders for Hellsing's Volume 1 second edition are now available from both major and minor retailers. Goes on to say, editor's note, a previous headline gave a misleading impression that the series would be updated for modern sensibilities. It has been updated to reflect the fact that in actuality, revised translations are more accurate. So you've got that. So for anybody who's a big fan of Hellsing or Hellsing Ultimate, I would recommend picking that up. And Jet Sparks, you say that you had to dip out, so go ahead and promote your channel, brother.
Okay, so yeah, what I just said in the chat is that I've been in the middle of playing the Mass Effect series, the Legendary Edition. I got on PS Plus in December, and just last month I started playing through Mass Effect 1 and completed that, and now I'm a little over halfway through Mass Effect 2 now, so I'm already getting down to doing all the loyalty missions in the game. So yesterday I did Thane's loyalty mission today, and I think today I'm gonna do Garrus and a lot more exploration and just doing side content to build everything up, building my level up in the game before we do the final mission. So there you go with that.
2's still my favorite game. It's a great game.
Oh, it is. It's my personal favorite of the trilogy as well.
It's a great game, definitely. So yeah, there's a lot to do, and even with that game being linear, and I know some of my friends really that upset them.
Yeah,
I just love that game. I just
I mean, but it's better you try to manage your time when doing certain things in the game. Like try to recruit everybody before you do one certain mission, and that's about it. And then just like once after that mission's done, you pretty much have a lot more free reign until you do another certain mission, and then that leads into the end game. I'm not spoiling any for anybody who has not played Mass Effect 2 or any of the Mass Effect games. If you have not played, if you're a big fan of space opera stuff, this is the game for you, and this is no better time. But if you have it on like any of the modern consoles and stuff like that, I'm gonna let you know there are like plenty of audio glitches and there is the occasional crash from here and there. So this remaster is not perfect. It's just not perfect compared to the original game. But the benefit is all the DLC is there.
Yep.
It's the complete edition. So thank you guys for having me on. And I say with my own motto, may God, the Force, and the power protect you always.
All right.
Thank you, Chet. You have a good day, brother.
Have a good one, man.
And let's see. And Box Office Mojo still hasn't updated the box office numbers yet, so I'm trying to find a different source to get us a number. But let's see. Peta Wannabe says I have Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, and I never got more than a few hours into the first one.
The first one is very good. The fetch stuff, the side mission stuff is not terrible. I don't know in the Legendary Edition if they fixed the inventory problem, because you could put all these items and it's too much in your inventory, but maybe they fixed that in the Legendary Edition. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. But still, 1 is a very good game. It is a bit rough, but 2 is great. 3 is still a good game, but it's still disheartening to a lot of fans that your choices never mattered in the third game. It really is. Because that's what they built it up to have you do as a player. All your choices were going to matter. So you get to the third game, you're like, I didn't do this in the first or second game. Why are they forcing me to do this? What the hell? It's aggravating. It really is. But I would still say Mass Effect 3 is a good game.
Very nice. Yeah, I mean, I have Mass Effect 3. I haven't finished it, but I like what I've seen so far. Granted, I started playing it, then like a lot of games, I had stopped for a while, and then eventually I'll pick it back up again.
Yeah. Yep. It's worth it.
I think it is.
Yep.
So we do have a couple more articles I want to discuss this morning on Pop Talk. And I'll go ahead and bring one of them up now.
Yeah. Are you going to read Van Helsing or whatever? Helsing, right? Yeah.
Well, when that comes out, yeah, I'll read it when it comes out. I mean, I've watched Helsing and Helsing Ultimate, so I want to read the manga that those two series are based on.
Okay, cool. I'm sure Brandon will be happy to hear that.
And I did send the article to Brandon because I thought maybe he'd be interested in it. So we have this article here from CBR that says Disney boss admits theme park pricing is too expensive. Hey, Bob, no shit.
Yeah,
that's about what everybody says.
It's funny. I remember like a year or two ago, I was like, oh, maybe I'll be excited about that Star Wars Galaxy. I just don't care. The prices are, Disney is just such a dumpster fire. A lot of stuff that they've done, especially recently, is just like, Is this good? Can you guys do a lot better? Of course you can. So, yeah.
This article says Disney CEO Bob Iger admits that tickets to the company's theme parks cost too much in an effort to establish Disney as a more accessible brand. This was published 3 days ago on CBRs by Cassidy Stevenson. And the article starts off by saying Disney CEO Bob Iger revealed that tickets to the company's theme parks cost too much. Per deadline, Iger declared his plans to transform Disney into a more accessible brand at Morgan Stanley Media Conference on April. I was about to say April 9th, but March 9th. I think that our zeal to grow profits, we may have been. I wonder if they meant to say this, but who knows? We may have been a little bit too aggressive about some of our pricing. You think, Bob?
Oh,
Hey, Bob. The Bobs have a question for you.
What would you say you do here?
Talk a lot. I guess he talks a lot. I don't know, man. I don't know when I'm going to see something from Disney greatness. I'm hoping Pixar at least bounces back, but everything else is just sure you can find fun at the theme park, but I don't know. I haven't been to Disneyland in a number of years. So.
I haven't been to Disneyland in 30 plus years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's about me too.
And let's see, the article goes on to say, and I think there is a way to continue to grow our business, but be smarter about how we price so that we maintain that brand value of accessibility. Previously, the CEO extended park hopping hours at Disneyland and introduced free photo downloads with Genie Plus at Walt Disney World. Let's see. It says in January 2023, the Walt Disney Company began its year-long celebration for its 100th anniversary. In response to the monumental milestone, its theme parks have introduced limited-time experiences for park goers, including special parades, exhibits, and fireworks shows. The Mickey Mouse Studio also unveiled the dazzling Disney 100 merchandise collection, the platinum covered items such as backpacks and ear headbands. On January 27th, Disney opened the new Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway ride and further improvements to Toontown to commemorate the occasion. Despite the exciting festivities, Disney announced the permanent closure of the theme park staple Splash Mountain in December 2022. The theme parks will replace Splash Mountain with Tiana's Bayou Adventure, based on 2009's Princess and the Frog. The attraction will launch at Florida's Magic Kingdom and California's Disneyland Park in 2024. The New Orleans Square area will soon contain Udra's Chic Boutique and the Tiana's Place restaurant, replacing the French Market restaurant. It goes on to say, in the past, Splash Mountain has faced backlash for its portrayal of African Americans and plantations, similar to the 1946 film Song of the South. Okay. Okay. First of all, Uncle Remus was telling stories, cultural stories of significance. And people had misinterpreted Song of the South for years. And Disney has shown the film. You can even find it here on YouTube for you to watch.
Really?
Yes.
I gotta hunt it down again because I haven't seen it in a few years.
Just do a search of it and you'll find it. But yeah, you know, the change to Splash Mountain itself doesn't make any sense since there are no mountains in Louisiana. You got salt mines, but there are no mountains. And it shows that they're creatively bankrupt. They don't have any imagination left. They don't have very many Imagineers left. When they could have created a new ride for Tiana instead of retheming an existing ride.
Exactly.
Just because a few people, got butthurt.
Yeah.
Or they're not willing to look at history.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. They could have just made a whole new ride. And
there is a way to simply sit back and tell them, sit on it and rotate.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, unfortunately, at least I remember at Disneyland, Splash Mountain did break down a lot. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the way it was constructed, but it did break down a lot. So sometimes it was even closed. I think when I went there that time, what was that, 2008? Gosh, that was a long time ago. I think Splash Mountain was closed down then, I think.
Hold on. We got somebody coming in, and he's got a celebration coming up. Very soon. So I'm surprised to see here. His celebration starts very soon.
The following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Welcome, Crit. How you doing, brother?
Hello, Crit.
I'm doing good.
Hello, Crit.
And before you begin, let me just congratulate you on reaching 2K subscribers.
Yeah,
thank you. Yeah, the stream isn't for another half an hour, so I have time to trigger some people. I got triggered as well on what. So is anyone? Well, are you finished with this article, or?
Yeah, I'm done with it.
Okay, so I stumbled upon this. Who has played the Jedi Fallen Order games?
Me.
I haven't finished it, but I played a lot.
I don't know why I answered it like that, but I've played it on both PS4 and on PC, and completed it on both.
Well, the story of the games has been ruined by a serial killer of writing. If you thought there was potential with the game's story, look no further, as they got Sam Maggs to write the tie-in novel.
You're fooling me. This isn't even April Fool's, and you're fooling me.
And Sam Maggs, I wish there was an article, but my brain is hurting. I didn't even know about this until, you know how there was maybe a connection between him and the witch sister.
Yeah. Yeah, because it was hinted at in the game.
Well, what if Sam Maggs decided, hey, I like that story, but let's not do that. Let's, instead of the book, have her fall in love with a random female stormtrooper. There's the article. Right?
Oh, it's from the Gamer.
I am not reading an article from the Gamer.
The Gamer. You're at it again.
I am not going to read an article from the Gamer.
Well,
there's a new policy here on Pop Talk. I will not read any or look at any articles from the Gamer.
But well, Sam Maggs is there's it's basically they've turned Jedi's Fallen Order Survivor into it's like a Bay Formers movie where there's like, oh man, how do I describe it? There's it's like a lesbian fanfic within a story that doesn't need one. I don't know how to describe it, but how does a character end up with a random female stormtrooper?
I don't know.
Well, I guess in Jedi Survivor, I was like, you got cooked.
I don't know, Crit. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at the article. Heck, it's nothing but word salad. And they even say underneath the headline, some Star Wars fans are sadly reacting how you'd expect.
That's the gamer for you.
Yep.
Yeah, they have articles like that, unfortunately. IGN does the same thing, but probably not as much. GameSpot does as well. Other media outlets.
But I'm tired of how does Sam Maggs get a job?
I don't know. I really don't know.
She was at Emerald City Con. I should have stopped by and said something to her booth.
You're probably better off not saying anything to Senator Mags. I mean, you could have always walked by and just given her a dirty look.
It hurts my brain to see writers give a piss about characters. They put their self-insert. I think Sam Max put a self-insert into the Stormtrooper.
Well, you're probably not wrong there, Crit. Because that's what a lot of writers end up doing, is putting in self-inserts.
Like, I am not Starfire, and
Ugh, that was bad. Even reading some of that is just bad. It's bad, very bad.
I want to see the novel I Am Not Cash Money.
I Am Not Cash Money. That's the one where I insert myself and beat people with a 5-iron. No, I'm kidding. It's joking, YouTube. It's a joke. No, that I Am Not Starfire is literally just trash, and people bought it just to make fun of it. Some people to just read it on their channels.
Ugh.
Make fun of it some more.
So I was able to find some box office numbers for this weekend. Scream 6 made $40 million.
Not bad.
Did you know they made this movie in 6 months?
That's impressive for today's Hollywood.
Yeah, they made Scream last August.
Wow.
All right, and it's saying as far as this weekend for Creed 3, it made $27.1 million. And 65 only made $12.3 million. Now, my own, I think it was $40 million for 65. But my own personal opinion, it's a movie that not everybody's going to like. Some people are going to like it. Some people aren't going to like it. I happen to like it. I liked Adam Driver's performance in this. It was a very strong performance in my opinion. And I thought it was a nice mix of Alien with Jurassic Park. And it gave you the jump scares. And let's see, it does say that 65 opened to 7.2 million overseas for a total of 19.5 million. And let's see. Quantum Mania. Let's see. It only made $7 million this weekend. And as I said to you, Cash, and I'm saying it here, Quantum Mania, it didn't have the excitement that MCU films used to have. You used to go to a Marvel film and you would have those edge on your seat moments.
Yeah. Did you like Kang as much as my brother though? He liked his performance in that.
I didn't care for anybody's performance really.
Oh, okay.
So yep, those are your top movies for this weekend. But yeah, for a writer to basically put in a self-insert, no, that just ruins characters. Who cares if the character is, this, that, or the other? What's the character about? What's their motivation?
Yeah, and if you're gonna self-insert the character, you should change it. It shouldn't just be exactly you. It's got to be interesting. Instead of being just arrogant and like, oh, this is a character who's like me, and it's like, oh,
Sure.
but it's silly.
I gotta ask, what's your guys' Oscars predictions for tonight?
I think Top Gun will win an Oscar. I don't know if it's going to win an Oscar for Best Picture, but I think
it'll probably win for sound. It's got a chance to win for sound, and
I think Brendan Fraser is in a lot for Best
it's probably going to win for that horrible Lady Gaga song, though. That has a chance to win Song of the Year.
And from what I've heard about that Brendan Fraser movie, I think Brendan Fraser deserves an Oscar.
Yeah, he might. He might.
Oh, no, I've watched
probably
it.
going to be.
Very good film.
I think Colin Farrell might win though. He might upset Brendan Fraser.
I don't
his
want
performance. His performance was really good though in that movie. It was a really very good film. But I haven't watched Whales, so I heard really good things about it.
I think Short Round's gonna win, of course.
Yes.
I think Michelle Yeoh has a chance for Best Actress. Best Picture, I'm not sure. I don't think it'll be Whale.
It'll
Whale even nominated?
I don't know. My brother thinks it's a good possibility for Everywhere All at Once.
Yes. Very good film.
Everything,
everywhere
all at once.
Yeah. That's pretty much best. I think animated picture. As much as I want to be Puss in Boots, it's gonna be Pinocchio.
It'll probably be Pinocchio because Pinocchio won, I think, for the Golden Globes. So
maybe. Who knows?
I'd like to see Puss in Boots win.
I would like
an award
mind
because that movie was worth watching.
Yeah, it was quite enjoyable. It was really good.
Have you seen the Guillermo del Toro Pinocchio?
No, I haven't. I heard
very.
about it, but I haven't watched
I hear very good. It's a very heart. But the thing, I think the Oscar is biased towards Guillermo del Toro. He's fancy.
I mean,
I just think it's gonna happen. It's gonna be Pinocchio. Although I want it to be Puss in Boots. Now I would be upset if it's actually turning red from Disney. As much as that
I don't
movie's
think
okay,
so. I think Pinocchio has a better shot. The Del Toro one.
Yeah, at least Lightyear.
No, Lightyear won't be around at all. That would be shocking. But I don't think it's nominated for anything as it should be. Shouldn't be nominated for anything.
No, from what I've heard about Lightyear, it should have never been made.
Yes, it didn't need to be made. Really didn't.
All right. So I do have two articles. We don't necessarily have to talk about them. But one of them's about fired Star Wars The Acolyte producer sues Lucasfilm for breach of contract, and the other is about James Gunn defending the race swapping of the High Evolutionary in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 by accusing fan of having racist presumptions. Like I said, we don't have to talk about it. Crit, if you want to talk about your 2K subscriber stream, you can.
Well, if I don't know when this is wrapping up, but I will be leaving in about like 5-10 minutes to start my own stream. Of course, everyone's invited. It's an open panel. I'm not subscribed to StreamYard, so I think it's only 6 people, but I'll rotate if there's a lot. We're going to talk about my channel, talk about content. We're just going to chill out or maybe play some Jeopardy like we did last time. But yeah, it's going to be a fun stream. I'm celebrating. And I'm going to do another one when I get to 3K. Yeah. The door will be open.
Awesome.
And that's pretty much all I can say right now. So.
Very cool. And you know what, folks? Make sure you go to Crit Stream and give him congratulatory celebration and hop on the panel if you're available. And I'm going to actually do something here because I think we're just going to go ahead and wrap up this edition of Pop Talk. All right. But first, let's see. Who is live at the moment? I'm looking to see who is live. You know what? You know what, folks? I'm going to go ahead and put the link into the chat. I will replace the StreamYard link with this brand new link. And we're going to do a Pacific raid. So let me go ahead and unpin the invite because we're going to wrap up this show. And let's see. Unpin the StreamYard. We're not going to undo it. Now let me go ahead and pin this new link. Ladies and gentlemen who are still here, we're going to do a Pacific raid. We're going to go to Miss Martin Muse's channel and give her a raid. How does that sound? So let's go ahead and head there right now.
All right. Give them a raid. All right. Well, thank you for having me on. I'm going to go now.
Not a problem, Crit. Not a problem. And I do want to thank everybody who is here today. I want to thank the Padawannabe for being here, Jed Sparks for being here, Helion for being here, John Rendell for being here. We had Whoopa Troopa, Phil McCracken, Crit, thank you for being here. Old Man, thank you for being here. Jed Sparks, thank you. And Baron was here briefly. Thank you, Baron. So, and we also had DJ Ronnie G. Let me not forget DJ Ronnie G.
Yeah.
So, thank you, everybody. Have yourselves a good rest of your Sunday. I will be back later on with a live reaction and review to The Last of Us Season 1 finale. And I'm not going to hold back. So thank you all. Have yourselves a good afternoon, and I will see you all later.